What's up, Wolfpack TCG? We're here at Z's Toys and More recording a deck profile for...
My name is Yenmorn. I just placed first using Academy Blue. White Blue Academy. Yet again.
Yet again. The way you do yet again. Alrighty. So, with that being said, I don't think you've made any changes since then, right?
I have made 0 changes, so I'm going to kind of go over this pretty quickly.
Okay, well, we will kind of go from there. So let's go ahead and kick into this. We're going to go ahead and go down here.
Starting off,
Gundam mat.
Starting off, again, we have our level 3s, which are our 3 Lefriths. Not 3, 4 Lefriths, sorry, and 4 Macalas.
That joke's on you. None of us can math.
I'm just tired.
That's fair.
So,
alrighty. So, as far as the 4 Lefrith and 4 Macalas, or Magilis?
Macalas.
We're going to call him M for short. Have you found any different plays with your pairings or linkings out of curiosity?
Typically it'll always end up being an academy trait for this one. Lefrith, I can always pair it with the Soletta if I really wanted to, but honestly, it's just a blocker.
Okay. Alrighty. So moving on from the 4/4s.
Next we have our level 4s, which are 3 Gundam Farax.
Have you thought about bumping him to 4 yet? Or
nope.
Perfect at 3
He is
for you?
perfectly at 3. Sometimes I see him, sometimes I don't. It doesn't really matter.
It's not. Do you ever find yourself needing him?
Absolutely not.
So
because when you link him with Soletta, it ends up being a 4/5. So you can't even take out a base with them.
That's right. So that is a 1/2, correct?
Yes. So he ends up just being a spot removal. Plus, with that -2 AP, he lives for a while.
Okay.
And then we have our 4 Grandpas.
You know, the last couple times we've played, I haven't really seen him come up. Has he been coming up for you a little bit more, or
he has shown up in every game today?
Okay. And are you okay with throwing away his pilot onto anything else to get rid of something?
Absolutely.
Or... Okay, so you've kind of decided that, you know, if you get the link, awesome. If not, he's just a buff.
Yep. Well,
and then he heals himself.
And I have also paired him with like the other 2 pilots, as you'll see in a little bit.
Okay, because if I recall, Grandpa technically repairs 2 for himself at the end of the turn.
Yep.
But on your turn, everybody gets a +1. Is that correct?
+1 AP as long as he's paired.
Oh, when he's paired.
Okay. That's why I'll sometimes pair him with the other ones.
Okay, so I always forget that. I thought he just gives everybody a +1, but while paired. Okay.
Then we move on to our level 6s. We have 3 copies of Gundam Aerial Rebuild from GD01.
And that is your highest costing unit?
No.
Oh, okay. And that is a 6/5?
6/5 with 5 AP, 4 HP.
Okay.
Which with the Soletta makes him a 6/6.
And then that's you get its effect during pair, correct?
Yep. Again, when paired, so I will pair an armor. I've paired an armor with him today. What he gets is it just grabs a command that's level 5 or lower from the trash, which all of mine are 4 or lower.
Okay.
And adds it back to my hand.
Okay, so it's just a pair in general with anything. It doesn't
perfect with Striker Pack to get extra blockers. Perfect with my draw power. Perfect with pretty much anything that I need.
Okay, awesome sauce. All right.
And then our last 2 units are our level 7s, which is the other Gundam Aerial Rebuild from GD02.
And this is your highest costing unit, right?
That is my highest cost unit.
And I believe this one has high maneuver off the bat.
High maneuver off the bat, and during pair, yet again, when there are 4 more command cards in your trash, this unit gains blocker, which came up a lot, especially in my round 1.
Okay. So
in fact, that's how I survived my round 1 was because of him.
Okay, so because I thought there was a situation where most people look for at least a minimum of 7 commands. So where do you feel you're happy when you have X amount of commands in your trash?
Typically, I can get about 4 commands by like.
So you at least want 4.
Yeah,
so that's where
4 is the minimum that's needed for any of these kind of effects.
Okay. I forget which one I'm thinking about, but
because
you don't run it.
Macalis is 4, in Aerial Rebuild is 4.
Okay. Alrighty. And then, so that's all the units. Moving on to
commands, we play 4 copies of Overflowing Affection.
What we have for
and
our family.
4 copies of A Show of Resolve.
Or every day I clock into work. Which
is weird for me. In most decks that I play, I only play 2 A Show of Resolves. But with this being a command-heavy deck, 4 is the number.
And then I think what I've seen when I'm watching you play against matches and even myself against me is you will Overflowing and then toss A Show of Resolve most of the time.
Sometimes. I'll actually talk about what I do with a show or overflowing affection in just a moment.
Okay, because it'd be nice to get your thought process, like when you play an overflowing versus what your preferred throwaway is versus your worst case scenario is.
Yeah. Then we play 3 unforeseen incidents.
Woo, choker boy.
1, The Witch and the Bride, and 3 copies of Striker Pack.
3 striker pack. How many times have you actually gotten striker pack to pop off in your burst?
Every time. I've never fizzled on
Really?
a Striker Pack.
I've never gotten mine to burst.
Because I will always make sure it's off the board before my life will get hit or before I need to use one out of hand.
Okay.
It is always the first to block. It's always the first to die if I can help it.
Oh no, you misunderstood the question.
Oh,
How
sorry.
often are you seeing it in your burst section?
Every so often. Most of the time, I'm actually getting it based off of my bases.
Okay. So it's there, you're just not getting it to burst.
Yeah. I mean, it's 50-50. Oh, yeah, no. I've never gotten it to burst, actually.
Okay.
It's been in my life, but I've always gotten it with my base.
That's funny.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
No, you're okay.
Then we move on to our pilots.
Okay.
We have-
well, before we move
sorry.
on to that, how many commands are we running? We have
4, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
15. Okay. Okay, before we move on to the pilots though, so we were talking about earlier your overflowing situation.
I will, again, talk about that later.
Okay, we're gonna wait till after the pilots?
Wait until the whole thing is out.
Okay.
Then, for our pilots, we have 4 copies of Armoro, 4 copies of Suletta, and 2 copies of Alan.
And he's just a throwaway?
Nope. Sometimes he's a throwaway, sometimes he's not. I can pair him with Michalis and Farak, and it's considered a link. Or, in worst case scenario, we can pair him with something, then as an activate action, as long as there's an enemy with 1 or less AP in play, which against rush decks, that's their
go-to.
yes. Or we unforeseen incident to lower it, then activate that as an action to recover.
Interesting. Okay.
Then finally, we're moving on to our bases. We have 4 copies of Corsica base and 1 copy of Argama. Now, what we were talking about with the overflowing affection, one of the first things I would love to throw away is the Corsica base.
Which is why you waited to talk after everything, because
Yes.
that gets you your...
So if I throw away the Corsica base, I skip over the need to bring out a Tall Geese and can go straight into the Leo. And when you're in this game, it seems like more bodies on board, the better, because you have better chances of hitting their shields.
Okay. And so that's like your preferred throwaway.
It is my preferred throwaway.
Okay. What is
Especially
your...
first turn. It's my very first throwaway will almost always be a Corsica if I have it.
That makes sense, because Corsica's a 3/3?
It is a
If I'm seeing
3/3.
correctly? Okay. And then, so that is your preferred. What is your mid... your iffy on throwing away?
Iffy on throwing away will probably be,
A unit?
yes, specifically Michalis or Grandpa. I would hate to throw away Grandpa, but Michalis, it's like he can link with 6 out of 10 pilots.
Okay, that's fair. Because that's a academy trait, right?
Yes.
For the link. Whereas that one needs the...
Well, this
actual
one's
pilot.
also Academy trait.
Okay, so they're both academy. Oh, well,
Yeah.
Okay, right on. And then, what is your worst case scenario for your throwaways?
Worst case scenario is
If I were to see you throw it away, I should know you're struggling.
probably this, because it's a good game ender,
Or an Armoro.
or really, because you need the blockers to last long enough to get to these points.
Okay. And I see that we're playing 5 bases, so
Yep.
one of them being the Argama. How often has Argama come up with its no effect damage?
Tonight, not at all, because I didn't go up against Breach at all.
Okay.
But against anything with Breach, it makes them actually have to think about what they're going to attack into.
And actually, if I recall, on a technicality, it even stops the nuke card that can be ran to blow up a base.
That is correct.
Yeah. GD03 is just around the corner. At the present date, we're looking at like 4 weeks away from it, I think. Close to it.
I think so. Something kind of close to it.
So is there anything out of GD03 that you've seen that you're looking to probably toss into here?
My memory on the cards coming in GD03 is very shoddy, so I'm not exactly sure.
Okay. I think you've only been running this deck now
Since Saturday.
Since Saturday, so it is Monday.
So I've ran
So
it
it's
for
only
3
been
days.
3 days, and you've topped twice back to back.
One twice.
Oh,
Then
sorry.
I won twice.
Saturday.
Top 2 and top 4 after that.
Yep. Yeah,
So the
that new type
lowest I've
challenge
gone
was
was
rough.
fourth.
That new type challenge was a little rough that day.
I mean, I still got fourth.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's a pretty solid lineup. So still just no changes to it right now.
No changes, and not even really any changes I can think of. I'm
Okay.
kind of liking how it's running.
That's good. I know, like when you came over that day to get it set up, you're just like, I'm really liking this deck profile, and lo and behold, topped twice Saturday as well as today. In today's matchups, what was your hardest matchup against?
My hardest matchup, and honestly, probably my closest game I had, was against Blue Purple. Blue Purple got me down to 0 life. I was struggling to keep up, which is where these two came into play. I had them both out. Either one was blocking, one was high maneuvering, just spot removing things as needed before taking out those last remaining shields.
And I think that was your second to last match.
That was my very first match.
Very first match. Okay.
And that's also another case of I threw away the Corsica base, then I had another Corsica base to make my Leos instead of tall geese, thus giving me 2 bodies versus 1.
Okay, and your last matchup, I think, was blue-white Epion.
Yes.
How'd you feel about that? How quickly did that go?
So that one, it always feels 50-50 to me. I believe we did go all the way up to turn 10. Well, I think most of my matches today actually went up to turn 10. Unfortunate for my opponent, he just wasn't seeing some of the units that he needed.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm glad that you're liking the deck. I think that's the most important part is running it. I know